Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are again at Spa. This is round number 3. We're in the Porsche 919 Hybrid 16 today for the World Touring Car 800. 1 hour where we can potentially win 1.5 million credits. So today's car starts off around 900-ish PP when you buy the car. You add a turbo to it, you add a gearbox to it, and it's a really useful car. But to get this down to the 800 PP, it's not a particular challenge, but we are limited to the racing hards. And then we actually drop the vehicle to 290 brake horsepower. Now, to put that into some sort of packet, my Mini's got 300. So my Mini's got more power than this four-wheel drive P1 monster hybrid thing. But the way it goes, we're just going to have to see how it pans out. I mean, what more can we do? We can take the turbo off and gain 10 PP. Which will put some power back, but dropping the turbo might give us a bit of a problem. We can add weight, we can take off aero. Again, it's a four-wheel drive car, but it's going to be wet, and if it goes anything like the last four-wheel drive car we tried, well, we'll have to see. It'll be the driver. However, let's go through the setup here. Racing hard tyres, fully customizable suspension, everything default, fully customizable diff, everything default. Downforce on the front tuned to 1112, and then in the rear giving it everything. We have the ECU tuned down to the minimum 70 and the power restrictor at 70. Customizable manual gearbox, again to drop the PP at 340. Medium turbocharger, anti-lag is off. There is nothing else to add to the vehicle. Brake controller comes naturally, that's everything. We didn't tune the gearbox, we just gave it what it is. Let's go to the track. And here we are, beautiful route, view of the route down to Eau Rouge. Settings for today's race will be assist, traction control 1, ABS weak, everything else off. And probably for one of the few last times, we're on a G29, controller steering sensitivity 5, force max torque feedback 7, force feedback sensitivity 7. So the last two races, if we think about them, both got 24 laps. We both won the race. The Nismo, well, the prior Nismo, the LM, the front-wheel drive car, I actually think drove better than the four-wheel drive car. But let's see where we go. With Porsche 919 Hybrid 2016, it's got a bit of history, this one. Let's see what we can do. We might just drive the wet a little bit differently. See if we can be a bit more conservative on the power and the gas and see where that takes us. Let's go. Here we go then, folks. First thing we're going to do is get that. Well, what do we need to get ready? We need to get the old rain map sorted. Battery's going to disappear fairly quickly. This car's not going to be stupendously fast, but we've just got to make it do what it can do. Battery's gone already. We kind of knew this would be the case with low horsepower. Mr. Wilk looks like he was going to overtake, but he hasn't. Oh, Mr. Wilk just cutting us up a dime there. Get back up the inside. Okay, so what's the plan? Well, it's the late afternoon. Track's going to be warm. We've got the racing hard tyres on. We're going to try and push. But it's going to be relatively steadily, this. We're not going to make a massive impact on the traffic, I don't think. When that turbo gets up to spool, it doesn't have to kick the battery a bit, look. It gets to the top end of the range when the battery kicks in. Get up the inside of Mr. Bishop, don't give him a chance. We can't stop at any point, we have to really push on. Oh dear. What we have here is a P1 prototype car with probably this just less than the top speed of these guys, but we have exceptional cornering grip. What we don't want to do is penalise ourselves with any sort of penalties. We've got to avoid those today. That would be ideal, really. But we've got 7 or 8 laps to really get a move on and make a headway through these boys. try and cut past them or run with them, and not to hinder ourselves on our forward momentum. We're 19 seconds off the lead. Mr. Fraga is out front pushing along. Gonna get ahead of Mr. Solis there. He really did brake early. He's coming around the outside and had to back away. Mr. Rubbelaar. We all know Mr. Rubbelaar, don't we? From the Human Comedy. See if we can dive to the left here. Yes, we just cut that, I think. We should be good. Mr. Rubbelaar, though, is going to give us a bump. We're just going to encourage him to stay behind, but it's not going to work. He used our draft to get where he wants to. He's going to push us wide if he can. We're going to stay strong, not be bullied. Get ahead of him now. Go around the outside, that'll be nice. No penalties, it's what we don't want. Mr. Yamanaka. Mr. Ordonez. Oh. I think we stayed on the curb. I think we're good there. So we're up to 12th place. Oh, slid all the way up the inside of all three of those guys. And that's the exceptional difference between the P1 and the GT3. It's the ability to get into the corner really late and brake hard. We're a very lightweight car. Not massively quick. But we're up to 9th place, 22 seconds behind the leader, which is Mr. Fraga. Pursued by Mr. Miazano and Mr. Portilla. We can't see who's in 4th, 5th and 6th. But it won't be long before we're making a headway. Based on the last couple of days though, we only need to do more than 24 laps, don't we? And we can get a good measure. We've probably got 20 minutes before the rains come. What we got, Mr. Fraga, fastest lap, 2:19. And I've also spotted today in the Legend shop another car that I need to purchase that I don't own. We've got to shell out 20 million, so it's even more important that we win these races and grind this cash. Now, is there a quicker route than this to win money? Yes, you've got half-hour races at Sardinia, Le Mans, and at Tokyo. This race is a solid hour, and it takes an hour, and sometimes you have to do that extra 3/4 of a lap past the hour just to be able to complete the race. So it's going to be an hour and 5 minutes before you get to go again. I don't think that's a detriment to the race. I think it's for itself, it's your first real experience of a long race in the game. Unless you start doing the Human Comedy, there aren't many 1 hour races that pay such a reward. You can use custom races, I guess, and you can get stuck into them and do them for 3, 4, 5 hours. I'd love to do a custom 24-hour race at Le Mans with rain, do real life time, try and get 2 or 3 people in the room to run the 24-hour cycle. Do the live stream all the way through. That would be an ace thing to do. And there's plans afoot to be able to do something like that. Watch the channel. I've got an idea building in my head all the time of something I'd like to be able to do. But let's get back on to this race. So we're in 9th place, 23.5 seconds behind the leaders. We're just starting to see those pack in front of us. We're progressively chasing them down. 2:20. So Grady's got the fastest lap at 2:18.686. How can we steal that fastest lap from him? Can we go any faster? We need to find 2.3 seconds to be able to steal that mantle. Miss McEwen is catching us from behind. There's a real gaggle in front. There's 4 or 5 cars up there that we could pursue. Mr. Frog, it looks like he's made a break for it at the front. Be good if he has. Real good downforce from this car. The tyres really aren't taking any sort of heat at the moment. Late afternoon turning into evening. The sun's just coming down. You can start to feel the heat chasing away. Shadows just starting to lengthen. It's a lovely crystal blue sky with a little bit of haze there. Three seconds behind Mr. Gallo now. Can we really start to make some gains and catch up that wee bit? We're making a blue sector. It's not going to be quick enough to take the mantle, but we've got Gallo down to less than 2 seconds. And that looks like Cookabun in front. It is Cookabun. We can see that on the leaderboard and we can see it by the car. But the first sector was down just over a 10th. Oh, there's 5th and 6th in front of these two as well. So we are making good progress. It's a chasing job in this car. Low horsepower, low speed. .24 seconds behind Mr. Frog, who really has made a push. Look, you look to the top right hand corner, you can see his little blue arrow. He's chasing away. Grady's fastest lap though still sticks. Gallo just 2 seconds, 2.1 second ahead. See if we can get to him at the end of this lap. That would be tremendous. Just sort of stuck in a limbo in this mid-pack at this point. We almost made a second there at this point. Look at that, up 0.9. We really have caught these boys here. We did really well down the straight there. Whatever we did in Eau Rouge, it was enough. Did you see Gallo go to the brakes there, or was that him putting his lights on? That frightened me. Around the outside maybe. We got him. And he gave us a little tip there just to focus the mind. And Miazano in the Subaru next up in 7th place. We've gone purple. Oh, and then we just had to hit Miazano, didn't we? That'll have lost us the 10th that we needed. Can we get the draft back off him? I don't think so. We were 0.34 down. Is he going tight? He's going tight side. Grady's just gone to the pits. On his soft tyres. 2:21. So just 3/4 of a second almost faster than our previous best. There we go, thundering through Eau Rouge again. 5th gear before we went through the dip. So the full leaderboards read Mr. Fraga in first place, some 24 seconds ahead. He's broken away. Beauvoir in second, Hizal third, Portilla fourth. We've made it up to 5th on lap 6. Gallo in 6th, Miazano 7th, Cookerburn in 8th. Grady was the one that dropped out there to go and get tyres. Grady, the holder of the fastest lap. As we just turn to evening, look, dusk is on its way. And seeing dusk on the way, we need to think about where we're going to be for the rain. And the rain is on its way. Oh my. I thought we'd get 8 or 9 laps before the rain came in, and it looks like it's going to be heavy. So let's just focus on the process here. What are we going to look at? I think we can keep the fuel map where it is, but drop traction control to maybe 3 or 4. We need to pit this lap. I don't think we've got the time to wait. Yeah, drop the traction control, keep the fuel map where it is. Take all the fuel, I would suggest. 21 seconds behind Fraga. We've made a little catch, haven't we? Fraga's gone to the pits, look, on softs. He's going in early. Is he going to take wets? Does he see the rain coming in? We're going to take the wet tyres as soon as we can, because that looks horrendous. Beauvoir's gone on past. Hizal's gone on past. So we're going to take the full wets. We're going to take the fuel. I'm going to take the chance for a drink. It looked like the pit lane had got slicks ready. Fraga is taking softs. Is he changing to wets? Is he going softs? He had such a good lead. He's not left the pits yet. He's gone out the pits. That was such a long stop for Mr. Fraga. We're out and away, and we're going to be... The track's looking damp. We're down to 15th place, 18th, 19th. Robillard, or we're in 15th. There's no real rain yet. Oh, it's coming though. Yes, it's definitely coming. And it's full darkness. We went in just at the edge of the light. We're just going to cut in on the traction control, I think. We're not going to slow ourselves down by restricting the fuel map. We're going to restrict our acceleration, try and prevent the nasty breakaway. Just want to maintain the traction. Intermediates look like the favourite tyre at the moment. Doesn't look like anybody's struggling on the slicks. Let's get the rain map back up. It doesn't look horrendously bad. I might have overjudged that. Hizal's gone in off the mediums. Beauvoir's carried on. Yeah, the rain looks like it's not as bad. Yellow flags, prohibited overtaking. Oh, there's somebody spinning. He looked like he was pulling out straight in front of me, Mr. Wilk. Oh no, there's all sorts of contortions going on round here. So we're up to 11th. Mr. Kawakami's going to the pits. Lots of people heading in. But Beauvoir carried on. Beauvoir actually looks like he's spun going through Eau Rouge. So we're into second place by default. And the track is now up to the point where wets are the primary tyre. Somebody's just coming out the pit lane. Somebody has broke away from the pit lane. It's Hizal. Can't see his tail light. Somebody spun. We've got yellow flags. I can see spray. I can see two cars going slowly. It's Beauvoir. It must have been Beauvoir who spun. So it's Hizal that's just broken away. He's come good out of this. He's managed to get in and pit onto his wets or his inters, whichever one it's going to be. And looking at the track and the weather's going to come back to him, the tyres, if he's on inters. Now, we only got 15 minutes in the dry, didn't we, really? So, lap times are going to drop away now with this rain. We don't really want to wait around behind Hizal. We really want to make the most of this opportunity. And we just washed out as we came out of his draft there. He's really made a break for that there, hasn't he? Track's still very wet, but we don't have much discernible rain. We might be following Hizal for a little while. A wheel spin there. And there's the end of the rain visible, so Hizal just might take the opportunity to just managed to brake, didn't he? Right at the top of the hill, right where we had the speed. We take damage on the front wing again, which is going to slow us down through the corner. It's going to ruin our slipstream just for the duration that we've got the problem. It's going to flash and go away, which is flashing now, so when that ceases flashing, it will end and we'll get the full downforce back. There we go, it's back. We've got to, like I said, we've got to try and get past him. We're 18 seconds ahead of Gallo. These races play out so differently. Different cars, slightly different strategy, trying to work something different with each car. The same principle applied, of course. It's trying to match the BP, trying not to add too much to the car, trying to just, if we're going to do anything, we're going to take power away to try and meet BP. Come on. See if we can make some gains through these high-speed corners where we have the downforce and we don't really have to brake quite so much. So the track is now drying out. You will start to get the benefit because it's on the inters, I believe. My tyres will start to wear. They're not at the moment. See if we can gain a fraction here when he normally slows. Into his draft now. See if we can pick up. Get into the braking zone. We're not going to be able to. Good little battle here with Mr. Hizal. We're running in the dry patch. It's not particularly dry, but you could almost get away with slicks on the dry line now. Just did enough to give him a teeny little tap just to send him on, but we didn't take any damage. It was just a very light little push on his rear bumper that gave us the room we needed. He was blocking though, wasn't he? He wasn't getting out of the way. Not the points where we had the pace. Ooh, a little bit wide. We might get a penalty for that as he comes back up the underside of us and gives us a right tap. He just tried to get his little bit of revenge there, didn't he? Look. We took up some front damage there as we tried to spin him. But he will come back at us again. There he goes down the inside. We're going to let him go. Oh, we had the traction to get past him there. He just spun up. The downforce damage we've got there. Just as we come through our rouge, we'll get away a little bit at the top here because he'll back out. 1.16 seconds into the lead. This is where he's going to gain on us. We probably might be able to just loose off a bit of the traction control right now. Just to give us that little bit of an edge on the throttle. Try and stay off the curbs at this point. Just out of the rain at the minute, but it looks like it's going to come back. A very narrow band to the right hand side of us. We're just managing to pull away from Hizal. We're just keeping that second lead. See if we can continue that. back end broken us there. Hazel's gone to the pits. So Hazel's going to opt for dry tyres at this point, I think. I think he's going to try and race on the dry line. Yeah, he was definitely on Inters, down to half a tank. We've only used 25% of fuel. Four-second lead over Hazel at this point. Be interesting to know where Gallo is, which will work out very soon. I think we're probably 20 plus seconds ahead. Yamanaka's gone to the pits. Oh, the whole of the mid-pack's going to the pits at this point. So Gallo is 29 seconds behind with 30 seconds ahead, which is really good. That little race with Hazel really gave us the opportunity to push on. Question is just, do we want to risk dry tyres at this point? We're coming up to halfway through the race. There is still rain about, and offline it's very, very wet still. We're coping very, very well with it. The car is handling beautifully. We're keeping the fuel map where it needs to be for power, but with the choice of traction control settings is working really, really well. Lap times aren't too slow. We had one in the 40s, but not too bad. We're back into the rain clouds again. As long as these tyres keep the traction, we are going to do okay. Don't really need to think about pitting for any of the tyres as long as these do what they're supposed to do. Definitely a little bit of rain on the old just coming down and wetting the track at the moment. Somebody's coming out the pits. Who's that? It looks like Beauvoir. It is Beauvoir in last place. So Gallo's gone to the pits. Cookabun's gone to the pits. Hazel's then going to pick up where he left off. Beauvoir, such a lowly place for such a reputable driver. He really doesn't want to give up for the Blues, but he's got to. He's going to be stuck in that limbo world. But if he follows me, he can make big gains, because look, there's another car in front of us there. If he can keep with us, follow our coattails, he'll be chasing around with 44 seconds now ahead of Hazel. But that one pit stop and that race have really given us the opportunity to get ahead. Come on, Beauvoir, let's push on. Come on, let's get you back to the front of the pack where you deserve to be. It looks like Rubilar in front. I reckon we've potentially got 15 minutes of running before any more rain. We could potentially switch to a set of dry tyres. We really think we're in that world. one mistake though, and you run off onto the wet patch, and you've lost it on the dry tyres. So we're just going to hang with it for a little while. The inters won't give us much. Just get past Rubbelaar. He's going to let us go. He's got his own battle with Beauvoir coming up. That'd be a good one to watch though. They're both going to come charging up on our 6. You know they are at the end of this straight. So Rubbelaar's overtaken us before up here. We've definitely got a pit stop in hand over the two guys in second place. I think he's got a significant lead over the guys next. But Hisal's gone to the pits again. He's obviously going to now go for dries. The tyre's definitely showing dry. The track is. So these tyres aren't going to stick around for much longer. Look how wet it is offline, which is what we can't risk really. So let's just hang around with these wets for a little while longer. Down almost to 25 minutes remaining. Stroh's there to be overtaken as we go tight side just to pick up the wet track. Easily done. One minute 15 seconds now ahead of Gallo. We took the early pit stop to change over to the wet tyres. They've now changed off their inters onto race tyres. Here they are coming streaming out the pits now as we come to lap another pack of cars. That's going to take us up to something like lapped up to like 12th place, I would suggest. And we're going to see the rain clouds now disappear off the radar. And then we're into the world of considering when do we change over to slicks? Or do we go inters and try and run the next rain on inters? We've tried that before. We've got half a tank of gas. Go 25 minutes. Lap times are taking 2.5, so there's 10 laps roughly to go. Ten laps will put us on lap 25, which is a great result. It'll put us ahead of the other two cars, won't it? Three more guys going into the pits. Gallo, Cookbun and Mirzano to come off those inters. My assumption is they went to wets, then inters. As we break through into the light of dawn. Tyre wear. Just focusing, making sure we're doing things right. 127 in the lead. Dawn is almost upon us. There's nothing on the rain radar. Tyres are actually feeling really good. Ahead of us we have, oh, I couldn't tell you. It looks like, yeah, it's the Nissan. Half a second faster than our quickest lap on the wets. And there's rain coming in from the bottom right hand corner. Let's just keep an eye on what it's going to be. Mr. Ordonez there is going to take the blues from us. He does, he backs right out of it. We come back up to take the race in line through this corner. And yes, there is some rain in that cloud, for which we're going to attempt to just maintain these tyres so they'll still work when we get there. Oh, this is absolutely flying, this little car. Considering it, oh, overtaking is prohibited. We've got a little incident ahead, I think. Somebody spun just coming into this pit area. I can see people going up the start finish. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely big rain coming. There's pink amongst it. Get this thing turned, keep on the brakes, turn those wheels. Gonna trip across to this wet side of the track. Pick up what we can, just try and preserve those tyres. Within the next lap and a half, that rain will be with us. I think these tyres will be good. I think we will be fine with these tyres. Unless they now absolutely start to strip, but I don't think they should. We're maintaining our gap over his Al, 1 minute 28. They're on race tyres, and if it absolutely buckets down, they're going to have to change tyres again. If we can just maintain what we've got. We don't want to overburn these tyres, we just want to keep at the point where they're maintaining grip, spreading the water off the track. I've got to say, this has got to be one of the most drivable cars. And I appreciate it's low power and not very quick, but look how well it's cutting through here. So we've lapped up to 9th. We've got Miazano in front of us in 8th. Miazano was who we had some little tinkles with earlier, wasn't it? Let's see if he's gonna. He does. Makes way. Gives us the track limits that we need. So we're going to drive past the pits this time. There's yellow flags ahead of us again. No overtaking is flagged. Look at all those marbles on the outside of that corner. Oh yes, there's some rain coming. 18 minutes of the race remaining. Flying down the hill. Now the only thing we're going to do is drop that traction control down to 3 or 4 again, just to try and control the throttle. The sky is greying over. That early morning sunshine has really receded. As we plough on down the hill, the cars in front are getting the blue flag, but is that Gallo? It is Gallo, look. We're about to lap Gallo, and here comes the rain. You can see it bouncing. Keep these tyres wet. Most of these boys will have gone to the pits and put racing tyres on. Gallo's got his brake light flashing, indicating wets. Here it comes. Absolutely hooning down, so that's my signal. Put the TC back to the max. Oh, and he's just carried straight on. Look at him go. Cookerman off the circuit. We've played this beautifully, it looks like. We just don't want to spit it off at this point. The circuit is a lake. Gazzelle's carried on. Gazzelle's going to be in a mess. Unless he got no opportunity. He was too far past the pits when the incident came, so Yamanaka, Braga, Portilla, Cookerman all in the pits. Coming off those racing tyres. Going to their wet variant, but Gazzelle's up there 156. And he's losing time to us now, 159. 2 minutes. Changing down at first didn't help us, but the assists, and you could always put the counter steer on if you so wanted to. Is Lopez really trundling round, but the lightness and the downforce on this car and the right tyres at the right time are just what's required. Nobody looks to be having problems. Nobody seems to be off the track at any point. Everybody seems to be rolling the laps. "14 minutes of the race left and we're on lap 19. We're looking for 25 laps. It would be tremendous. I'm probably just trying to push this car too hard now. Is that him? That's Gazelle, second place. We're going to lap Gazelle on the open track. There we go. And there's so much more rain to come yet. Gazelle is so far ahead of the guys behind. Wonder if he's potentially just going to lose places before he gets to the pit. Inostra, going to go round the outside of Inostra. And Rubilar, he's drifting all over the place in the wet. That's twice we've lapped Inostra and Rubilar. They're going to the pits now. Going to take the wet tyres. The rain comes again. And we can now see the end of the rain. Some maybe 2.5 laps away. As we hammer the car down the hill. The traction control doing its job beautifully. Gazelle there in 5th place when he got to the pits. Wow. So he lost 4 places. Coming down that back straight. So we're on lap 20 with 11 minutes to go. We're looking to get to the 25th lap. It is raining so hard still. I don't know if we're going to make lap 25. It would be nice to make lap 25. It looks like we can. Track's not drying out yet. We're still very, very wet. Mr. Ordinaire's up to 15th place. Lap times are just so slow because of the rain. His tyres are really starting to take a pounding at the rear now. But if the weather stays like this, won't be a need to pit for tyres. His tyres will run the race out, I think. Just where we need to be on fuel, to be honest. Just need 5 laps of fuel. That's potentially the end of the rain. Oh, we've got 7 laps of fuel left. We'll have done this as a 1-stop. A 1-stop's a tremendous effort, isn't it? Absolutely tremendous as a 1-stop. That would be superb. And to be able to complete the race with no penalties as well, that's a great shout. I've just adjusted the traction control down now because the rain's at an end. Any clouds that are going to pass over, there isn't a massive amount of rain that's going to fall out of them. Unless of course one of those yellows decides to appear again, but I would suggest we're good. There is some yellow rain coming. The car itself is driving beautifully. Not sure how the AI will drive this car when they get their opportunity, whether they will be incredibly slow or whether they will just drive it the way it's supposed to be driven. They will only be able to run with the hard tyres, which will be interesting for them. But as we continue to make that big gap, the rain has now passed over. We're going into the drying phase of 8 minutes. We're on lap 21, about to move to lap 22. We've got to try and keep these tyres alive by running the wet line as much as possible. As yet I can't see a dry line. I can see a drying line. There it is. It's starting to show. Still standing water to the left hand side of the track. The sun is really out now. Just focusing, concentrating, trying to keep this car where it needs to be. Trying to get the line right so I can pick up on the exit, the wet part of the track. Not being caught by anybody, but I also notice we're not particularly catching anybody else either at this time. So the dry line's getting down to where inters are now going to be favourite. So we just cut the traction control just a little bit. The last lap was 18 seconds down on our potential fastest. The first sector was pretty decent. 6 seconds down in sector 2. Holy chipotle. That's how slow it goes around that long corners. On to lap 23 almost. Very close. We're getting to lap 24, aren't we? We're very close to being on lap 25, but we need to do it. Need to demonstrate that this car has the capability, even though it's such low power and such low speed. But as a one-stop, absolutely phenomenal. And 0 penalties. Try and run the wet line as much as possible to keep these tyres active. So back round to Mr. Lopez again to lap him for the 3rd time. People will start to go to the pits very soon to try and pick up their last set of race tyres. And as we say that, Hazel goes in. Come off full wets. So we were a blue time there. As we come hacking down here, we're going to take up lap 24 with 3 minutes left. It looks like, if everything goes to plan, let's touch wood, about to in a minute when I can take a hand off the wheel. Touching wood, excuse the phrase. There should be some 10 seconds into lap 25, which will put this car into the first place on the leaderboard of the cars most able to dominate at Spa in the WTC 800. We're just picking up blue flags there as the Corvette comes out the pits. We don't get any time back to the cars behind us. Tyres are in good fettle, but the wet line is now drying up. Look, it's definitely drying up. We've still got wet on the track, but visibly it's just going to dry away over this next 2 laps, isn't it? Just to sort the tyres out. Really seeing anybody in front of us that we can chase down just to keep the pace up. But it's going to be wet all the way to the end. Now you can understand why we ran the turbo and tried to keep the car as light and low power as possible to try and get that fuel consumption going. Don't have to be fast to win the race. One stop is all it takes. I have so enjoyed this little car. I say little car, it's a beast. Absolute beast. We're going to be well into lap 25. The dry line is definitely dry. The race tyres are probably what you need at this point of the race, but we're not going to pit, we're not going to take that time. Laps are getting faster. The rear tyres are starting to show. The dry line is definitely there, and you can see the wet line the cars are making through the dry line. Go charging back down for the last time on lap 25. Braga takes up the flag. He's now finished. He's going to be 2 laps down. So I'm just keeping reserved about what's going to happen here. We're not really being pushed. We're on the final lap now. We just got loads of fuel. 2.9 laps remaining. Great little car. It's going to earn us another 1.5 million credits. But I'd be interesting to hear your different setups, whether you're able to get it to lap 26 maybe. Where are you in your own little leaderboard of cars that you're testing and trying and running? Is anybody else able to do a 1-stop or want to do a 1-stop? Can you do a 2-stop and go faster? That's what I'd like to understand. And we come down to the final chicane, just the final 2 corners. Foot perfect, this little car. No, we've had a couple of warning shots, but we've had no penalties, no spin outs. Beautiful little car, and it comes across the line with a final lap time of 2:25. There she is. What an absolute beaut. Absolute beaut. All the way on one set of tyres after the pit stop, which we took on lap 6. 18 laps. Absolutely stunning car. So we finished 2 laps ahead of the field. Mr. Fraga finishing 2nd, Yamanaka 3rd, Portilla 4th, Kuckerman 5th and Gallo 6th. Isal finished in 10th place. But we got 3 laps ahead of Beauvoir, who was managing to recover. Look, he was making his way back through the field. When we last saw him, he was in 20th place. Mr. Grady gets the fastest lap of the race, and he finished the race in position 11. There we have it. Delivery of the credits, 1.5 million. Have it. Takes us over 30 million, almost to 31. And a 3-star ticket for the day. It's been a poor week for tickets. But what can I say, folks? That's the end of that one. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the series. You can set these cars up however you like. If you don't think they're right for you, what's right for me might not be right for you. But if you want to set them up again, you're enjoying what we've got though, do let me know. Comments down below would be awesome. I love hearing from them and I'll reply to every single one. We'll see you on the next one, folks. All the best. Take care. Goodbye for now.